Good morning and welcome to Coffee Ann, the longest-running panel discussion show in American radio. To make a comment or ask a question of the panel, call 401-766-1240 or email coffee@woonsockеtradio.com. And now, let's join the Coffee Ann panel.
It's Coffee Ann time now on ONA FM. Thanks for joining us. It's Thursday morning, January the 30th. I'm Joe Callahan. That's Bob Lotter right over there. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. Good to be with you.
Glad you're here with us. And we expect Sue Tessier-McKenzie to be joining us on the program today as well. So a couple of things to get to. Right off the bat, congratulations go out to Woonsocket Police Deputy Chief Tom Caluro. Our loss is someone else's gain.
What's
he
happening?
He's taken on a new job, and he's going to go be the police chief in Sutton, Massachusetts.
Sutton is lucky. Wow.
Yeah, he's leaving here, and on Monday starts his new job in Sutton. And we've had Tom on the Coffee Ann program, and he's terrific. He's great, and Sutton is really getting a great guy.
I think so too. That's fantastic.
Their police department. Congratulations to Tom Caluro. I reached out. I just found out about it yesterday. I reached out to him as quickly as I could. Congratulations. I did invite him to come on if he had time today, but I didn't hear back from him. If he shows up, great. If he doesn't, well, I gave it a shot.
Now, Sutton's a sort of rural bedroom community, isn't it? Outside of Worcester?
Think of it more, yes. It's right at 146.
Right.
I would say it's about 20 minutes from here, maybe a little less. Think of it more like a North Smithfield or a Burrillville kind of town. They've got some things in it, but it's not urban like Woonsocket is. So good for him. You know,
great for him. I'm sorry we're losing him.
He's one step below Tom Oates here in Woonsocket, but you're in organizations and you always want to move up and advance.
Right.
And this opportunity opened up, and he's moving over and he's taking it.
Now,
so good for him.
I have no idea what the procedure would be to try and find a replacement for him in Woonsocket. Do they promote from within? Do they?
I don't know.
Try and get from outside.
At some point next month, we'll try to get Chief Oates on and see what's the procedure now.
Right.
Do we promote from within or what? Do we need a deputy chief? Maybe it's money wise. Maybe we shouldn't right now. So we'll find all that out from him a little later on.
Wow.
So we just wanted to say congratulations to Tom Caluro, Deputy Chief here in the city of Woonsocket, moving on and becoming the police chief in Sutton, Massachusetts. Congratulations to him. All right, of course, the big story is the helicopter and the plane crash in Washington, D.C. It freaked me out a little, Bob, and I'm sure I'm in the same boat with about thousands of other people. I just flew into Reagan not 2 weeks ago.
Wow.
The exact same airport. Now, I wasn't on American Airlines, and I wasn't flying in at 11 at night. I was on Southwest coming in the middle of the afternoon. But still, I said I was just there.
I would imagine their
wow.
investigation is going to show one of two things. Either the American Airlines flight deviated from the planned flight path, or the military helicopter had somehow invaded the flight path of the American Airlines.
Well,
but I don't know. It's a terrible accident.
Terrible. 64 people on board the plane, 60 passengers and 4 crew, 3 people on the helicopter. We just heard on the national news as of 8 this morning on Thursday, 30 bodies have been taken out of the Potomac River. And it's freezing cold in the Potomac River.
Now, that sounds like, if that was a full capacity flight, that sounds
not.
like, that sounded like a small number of people.
Yeah, that's about half.
All right.
It's probably, because it's coming from Wichita, Kansas to D.C. So I'm sure it's a smaller plane, not your big jumbo jets, because there's only 2 people in the cockpit. Yeah, there were only 2 pilots and 2 flight attendants. So this is a much smaller plane. Of course, there were members of USA Gymnastics on it too, which means that's kids were on the flight along with their coaches and their parents. So that's not good either. And from what I understand, from what I've read, the plane was coming in for a landing. It was about at 400 feet. So they're saying, if you try to read it between the lines, it looks like the plane was doing everything correctly as they were trying to land, and they were hit by the helicopter.
That would be your first assumption. Yes.
And then I read the force of the crash split the plane in two. So we'll have to fear that's true. And now National News just said they found the helicopter upside down in the river. And so, you worry about this. Oh, this is too bad. Can we get any survivors and like this? But it's already started. And I saw it last night online, and it's the conspiracy theories
About this?
already.
Okay. What's the conspiracy
And I don't know if
theory?
the people that have flown Black Hawk helicopters in the past, or they're in the Army, or they don't know anything. But
Let's go with the last one. They don't know anything.
The theory is this was not an accident, and this was planned.
Did that include the Martians?
Sorry, it was figure skaters, not gymnastics. I'm sorry about that. No Martians. No, that this was someone intentionally that was flying the helicopter intentionally did this. I've already read that online yesterday. Of course, that's all full of speculation and like that. I said, can we get to the people first, and then we'll worry about how did this happen? But no, people got to jump right in. Nope, this can't be an. I don't know why. I don't know what. I have no idea what their expertise is. They just said
none.
If you're flying up this Black Hawk, as you fly, you cannot do this unless you're doing it intentionally. I'm like, I don't know how you know this. You probably don't. So we'll leave it. We'll leave it at that for right now.
I think I would leave the conspiracy theories to one side for a long time.
So right now, especially if you're flying out, Reagan Airport in D.C. is still closed.
I saw that.
Last I heard, they're going to stay closed till like 11 this morning. So everything has to fly to Dulles. And too bad for them. They've got their own planes to worry about. They've just doubled their schedule.
Well, I imagine some of the airlines are canceling their flights as well.
Oh, probably. Or maybe they can go, maybe we can overshoot Dulles. Let's go to Philadelphia or Pittsburgh, something that's a little closer by. Take the pressure off of Dulles. But if you're going to D.C.,
take the train.
And now take the train is right. And now your plane lands in Pittsburgh. That's a long car ride back to D.C.
Sure is.
Take an Uber or take a train. So that is the.
Whoa!
We'll hear more and more about the crash as the day goes on. Sue Tester McKenzie has wandered into into the studio in her gray and black.
I've never seen you wear the same thing twice.
No, I actually do. I've worn this before.
She's just she accessorizes much better than us, Bob.
Yeah.
Okay.
It
really
just
looks good.
Cold, so this type of scarf is more like a wrap than
Yeah.
a scarf.
Keeps you warm.
But it's big and it's like cumbersome, and I don't like that. I have way too much clothes on. We'll just put it that way. That's how I look at it.
So we were just.
That's a phrase that I wish I had heard when I was dating.
Yeah.
Right? Way too much
They
clothes on.
never said that.
No, never.
Bob and I have come from different generations. So here I am. I'm dating in the 80s, and I don't know if you remember, Sue. The deal in the 80s was, especially amongst the girls, was how many layers could they put on? It was sweater after sweater after sweater. They would wear like 4,
Well,
and a shirt.
I worked in retail then, and I can remember you had your turtleneck, and you had a little collared shirt. And you had a
Yes.
sweater over it.
Yeah.
Because that was the style.
That was the style.
And then you had to.
It was
kind
the
of
preppy
lift
look
your
at the
sleeve
time.
And
Yeah.
get the cuff out, and oh yeah,
So it was all about the layers back then. I'm like, great.
right.
He thinks I was dating in the 1860s, but that's okay.
I know, right?
Well,
Okay.
you weren't dating. The girls weren't into the preppy look when you were dating, Bob. They were a little goes back another decade before, so things were a little different.
Mini
So-
skirts had just come out.
Well, there you go.
was-
Lucky you. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. We just Sue just talked about the crash, the helicopter and the airplane in D.C. Overnight. I don't know if you heard. 30 bodies have been pulled out of the river,
Really?
out of the Potomac. They're still searching for more. And there were 60 people on the flight. 64. 60 passengers, 4 crew, 3 people in the helicopter. No word on who the bodies are and where they go. That'll all come out a little later on. So just a terrible situation that is going on in there. And Reagan Airport is still closed and will stay closed until 11. And so everything is being diverted what's not being canceled. Most of it's being diverted to Dulles. And they're just going to be running crazy today trying to trying to fit all these airplanes in. All right, more of that is coming up, and we thank the Deputy Chief Tom Caloro. He is leaving the Woonsocket Police Department.
Get out.
And on Monday he becomes the police chief in Sutton, Massachusetts. So
Sutton-
he's moving
Sutton
on and up,
is-
and good for him.
Yeah, Sutton's nice. Sutton's kind of chill.
All right, Bob, you ready for the big question?
Does this have anything to do with the Super Bowl coming up?
Nothing to do with
Because
the Super Bowl.
I have some creds on this.
All right, we'll go with that in a minute. But here's the story from yesterday. O.J. Simpson's youngest son is accused of improperly claiming ownership of his late father's home. All right?
All right.
That's according to a lawsuit filed by the special administrator of Simpson's estate. The home was bought by an LLC in August of 2022. The LLC is owned and managed by Justin Simpson, who is a real estate agent. But the lawsuit claims the LLC was actually, quote, the owner in name only, unquote. Then it goes on to say O.J. Simpson passed away last April.
What do they mean, owner in name only?
I don't know. That's what's in quotes. That was my question for you, Bob. You're the lawyer.
All right.
So he's accused of improperly claiming ownership of his late father's home.
Okay, a whole lot of elements to that.
All right.
First of all, LLC is a limited liability company that's established usually under the laws of a particular state.
So they bought the
assume
home.
it's California. In a limited liability company.
It actually says Las Vegas.
Oh, Nevada? Okay.
yeah.
All right. Limited liability company, you don't have to disclose who are the actual owners or elements of the company. It's not like a partnership or something like that. You have a manager, and you disclose that to the department, the office of the Secretary of State of the where you're incorporating. But you don't have to say that you are one of the, or you are the particular person who's operating the LLC. But in land transfers, you have a registered a record of what's going on. You have the deed from Joe Smith, who sold it to O.J. Simpson, and O.J. Simpson recorded the deed in the land evidence records, and that shows he owns the property. Now, to convey the property out of O.J. Simpson's estate once he's dead, if it was not in a trust or something like that, it's going to go through probate administration. I don't know the sequence of how this LLC may have gotten on the land evidence records as the owner of the property. There's something missing in the story as to how it's going on.
Oh, okay.
If I went out and said, okay, I'm going down to Mansfield, Massachusetts, and I'm going to record a deed that says that Joe Smith has conveyed to me your house, that's going to be fraudulent because I'd have to have somebody in the chain of title who actually received the house from you. But I'm not sure exactly what they're talking about there.
So we just don't have enough information,
Right.
is what it's coming down to. I'm trying to read in between the lines, and it sounds like his son, who is a real estate agent, says that the house is his, but the LLC is saying, no, the house is ours.
Well, either one of them is going to have to prove a chain of title as to how they acquired the title from the prior owner.
Well, that should be pretty easy, shouldn't it? Shouldn't
I
there be
would think so,
a paper
yes.
trail for that?
Yes.
Okay.
Right.
Well, he's being sued. There's a lawsuit involved. And the lawyers make more money, except you, Bob.
Well, they're not here, but
Well, it's not taking place here. So, all right. We let's see. What's your football question, Bob? What's your Super Bowl question?
you were going to ask me who's involved in the Super Bowl. You were hoping that I would be my usual dumb self.
Well, no,
But-
because it's everywhere. Not just in the sports. I mean, if you don't know who's in the Super Bowl, you're just not paying attention.
I have
to
brought
life.
I have brought in 4 people who have advised me on this.
Oh yeah, right.
Because
right from the newspapers. So.
They were on the front page of yesterday's paper.
Yes.
And it was talking about who would you like to win the Super Bowl. And they identified who the teams are, and they gave their opinions on who's going to win.
Uh-huh.
I have creds. Look, experts who've been helping me out.
Well, I don't know about experts, but
Better than me.
but at least now you know who's playing. And have you memorized it without
I
looking
got
at
to
the
read
paper?
it. It's the Philadelphia Eagles and the Kansas City Chiefs.
Very good. But the question is, Bob, who do you think's going to win?
Well, 3 out of 4 of these people said they thought it was going to be the let me see, the Eagles.
All right, yeah.
Yep.
But it comes down to, who do you want to win versus who do you think's going to win? And for me,
I want this team that has the best pretzels. Those are the ones I want to have win.
the best pretzels at the stadium?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. I've never been to either one, so.
Well, wait a minute then. you and I are on a par and equal in
Yeah,
when it
so
comes
who's got
to
the best
make.
pretzels? Yeah, I guess.
This is a historic day, Sue.
When it
This is like great.
when it comes down to the Super Bowl, who I want to win,
Yeah.
Philadelphia.
Okay.
Who's going to win? Probably Kansas City.
Okay.
So it's
Now, what makes Philadelphia more attractive to you as a
because I don't like Kansas City.
okay? Other than the fact that Kansas City is way out in the Midwest and also is the area where they're talking about having a tuberculosis outbreak, what makes Kansas City a lesser team than the Eagles?
Because if they win the Super Bowl
Right.
a week from Sunday,
Yeah.
they will have won the Super Bowl 3 years in a row. No other team has done that. And I don't want them to get this record.
Sounds. I don't know. Sue is
It's
giving
self-
these.
it's selfish
tired.
of me.
Sue's freaking exhausted today.
I'm just being selfish. Because if they win 3 in a row,
Yeah.
people will consider them the greatest football team ever. And I want people to think of the Patriots as the greatest football team because they've won 6 Super Bowls, just not in a row.
Okay. What was the best? Did Patriots ever win 2 in a row?
Yes, they did.
Okay.
Yeah. But not 3. They've won 3 out of 4 once.
All right.
Pretty close, but no team has done 3 in a row.
Okay.
So
All right.
they've really got something to shoot for.
That's a good reason.
So, but I don't want that to happen. Therefore, I've only got 2 to pick from. So therefore, okay, my allegiance now goes to the Eagles. Not that I'm a big Eagles fan.
Now, on the day that the Super Bowl is taking place,
Yes,
you're going to be sitting at home,
that's my plan. Yes.
okay, and you're going to be snacking.
Probably not eating pretzels.
Possibly.
Oh,
I do like pretzels though.
Well, yeah, but
those the big ones that they sell at the mall.
No, those are delicious. But no, the usual, Snyder right out of the bag.
yeah. I mean, I like those myself.
Yeah.
But,
I also like peanuts. So
Okay.
I might be having
but
some
those are
dry
kind of
roasted
boring
peanuts.
Super Bowl snacks.
Oh, they are. I don't go
extremely.
for. I'm not cooking wings. I'm not cooking chili. No.
Right.
I go for dull.
I like
Because
a dip.
I'm so old school that I'm actually there to watch the game. I could care less about any other extraneous activities going on. I want to see the game, and I'm so big on that I have never seen, and I'm going to continue this year. I don't watch the halftime show because I could care less. Who's performing? Big deal. So for that half an hour, because it's a half an hour, I get up and walk around and go do something else for 30 minutes because I don't want to watch. I don't care who's doing the halftime
That's
show.
the only-
And I've loved some of the bands that have played. U2 is one of my favorites, and they played at the halftime show. I didn't watch them.
That's the only part my daughter watches.
I know, and that bothers me because I'm there to watch the game.
Okay.
I went on a bus trip one time. I know we got to take a break, but I went on a bus trip one time from Lincoln, Rhode Island to Fenway Park
Yeah.
with a bunch of other people. It was actually with my sister and a bunch of people she worked with. Where she worked, they put together a bus trip to go to watch a game at Fenway Park.
Sounds great.
And it was great. There must have been 60 people on the bus, maybe a little less. I was the only one that was there to watch the game. They were there to drink on the bus, go to Boston. Half of them never even made it to Fenway Park because they stopped at the Cask and Flagon, which is a bar right outside of Fenway Park, drank for the entire game, and got back on the bus and came home. And it bugs me to be. I don't want to be around those kind of people. I want to be around people that are there like me, that are there to watch the game.
I guess he's never invited me on a bus trip anywhere.
Right?
Because with Bob, we're there to watch the game. I got this from my father, by the way. So you're there to see the game. We
Cask and Flagon. That sounds like a good place to be.
That's it. Well, I think it's still there.
I had been there over the years.
Okay. Break time here on Coffee AM. More coming your way. Comments and questions can be called in at 766-1240.
What you said? ON Radio.
ON Radio, DollarSaver.com.
Dollar Saver Guy with this week's Dollar Saver Half Price Deal of the Week. From Executive Auto Wash in Woonsocket, we've got 3 Platinum Car Washes. 3 Platinum Car Washes would cost you $72. We get you all 3 half price, $36. They go on sale this Friday morning, 10 a.m. online at onradiodollarsaver.com. That's the letters ON. OwenRadioDollarSaver.com.
OwenRadioDollarSaver.com.
The Coffee and Panel is enjoying coffee from Down East Coffee Roasters. All their coffee is roasted right here in Rhode Island. Down East Coffee Roasters is available at all Little General stores.
OWN Radio.
Have you heard of Scott McGee with Remax Properties? He's been selling real estate in Rhode Island and Massachusetts for the last 17 years, and you can see that he loves what he does. Scott, as well as his team, take pride in what they call the fair and honest team. No gimmicks. And no, they're not buying your house if it doesn't sell, etc. Just fair and honest real estate. Scott personally works with tons of sellers and buyers and specializes in residential properties as well as commercial, and he's always very fair and offers super competitive rates. Remember, this is probably the biggest move in dollars that you will ever spend or receive. You want to go with a trusted and experienced agent. Scott is fair, honest, and modest, always puts the clients first. And he also dealt with literally almost any situation. You really need to look at your real estate needs as a business. You want to pay and get the right money now so that you're not paying for it later. Trust me. So why not give Scott McGee a call at 401-639-2906. That's 401-639-2906.
This portion of the Coffee and Program is sponsored by the Blackstone Valley Call and Times.
You've heard it before. The world is getting smaller. Places you had to travel to years ago now seem right next door. It's no surprise, then, that all the communities of the Blackstone Valley have so much in common these days that we share common interests. Keeping up with this trend, the Blackstone Valley's two daily newspapers, The Call and The Times, have joined forces to cover the entire valley in one convenient newspaper. The Blackstone Valley's Call and Times, a paper for the entire valley. At your local store, honor box, or home delivery, 767-8522.
All right, it is Coffee and here on ON AM and FM. Thanks for joining us. I'm Joe Callahan here with Sue Tesser McKenzie and Bob Lauder. Thanks for joining us. And we got the news yesterday morning about this time. The four-year-old little girl that got hit by the car on Monday passed away. Late Tuesday night, basically, is what happened. I'm like, wow, this is just, it's getting worse. I mean, that story just gets worse. I was hoping it wouldn't come to that, and now it has. I guess the mom is still got serious wounds. And is still in serious condition at Rhode Island Hospital. I did find out that it's a 25-year-old man from Woonsocket that was driving the car. They're still investigating everything. No charges have been brought yet. What do you think, Bob?
I would think the guy has a whole lot of emotional guilt about that.
Yeah, but charges, you think something might come of this? Especially now that someone has died.
I would think they're going to look into the speed of the vehicle, the position of the little girl and the mother in the roadway, try to determine if there was negligence on the part of the driver in any way, if he was not paying attention, if he was on his cell phone, if he was doing something that was negligent, and why he didn't see the pedestrians long before the incident took place to determine whether or not he could have, swerved to the left to avoid them or something like that. I think they'll be doing a complete investigation that way.
They will.
I couldn't speculate as to what the reason would be.
Okay. And then initially they talked about how Tom Oates said, police chief said, speed may be a factor. He hasn't said it has been, but it may be a factor. The sun may be a factor. And then we're also hearing that the driver may have hit a snowbank and shot across the road as he tried to get away from that. I don't know. Then we hear yesterday, Woonsocket Mayor Chris Beauchamp is warning businesses to shovel their sidewalks. And so I wonder if, now the only business really in that area is Consumers or Propane on that part of Hamlet Avenue. And I'm wondering if, could they be found negligent in some way?
Front of Consumers is always completely cleaned.
Is it? Okay.
Because you have cars, trucks, people getting gas, oil, propane. That's always clean.
But
definitely not.
We'll try to play devil's advocate. What about right after where the cars come in and out, but it's still their property?
Well, the way their property is, if I'm recalling this correctly, is there is no curb mainly in front of their actual business. So let's say this is their actual business. Is this also their business, but it's curbed
Yeah.
and cars can't go there? I don't know.
Okay.
But I do know that the obvious opening has no
It's always
curb,
cleared.
and it's always cleared because there's
Well,
no
that's good to
curb,
know.
so cars can go in and out
Yeah,
at
to get
any
gas.
area
Okay.
to get gas and propane, etc.
Well, have you ever heard of a business being like named as a defendant in a situation like this where the accident happens in front of them, but because the people couldn't walk on the sidewalk, they're in the road, and now the business is found liable?
Well, I won't say anything about consumers because
No.
I'm not familiar with I know where consumers is located, but not familiar with this particular incident. But if you had a situation where a owner of real estate has failed to fulfill the city ordinance on removing snow and allowing for clear passage on their sidewalks, and you have a person who's injured as a result of that, I would think that in trying to find as many people as possible to help get recovery for the damages incurred, you would probably be looking at a claim against the landowner as well. Yes.
Okay.
Well, now, the
we'll
thing,
see.
too, that you run into is, so let's say consumers, all clean, all good.
Yeah.
But then there's a business next to them that's not, or a business before them that's not. So now that person can't walk in front of that business, so now they're already in the road, so now they're staying in the road.
Well, that's the question, because if
Right.
when you go past consumers, we have the open lot,
Yep.
and that's, I believe, privately owned.
Are we heading toward the bridge?
Yes.
All right. Okay.
And so that might not have been cleared, and the owners are, I don't even know who the owners are.
You can find out by looking it up in the land evidence records in City Hall.
So they would still be responsible to come down and clear out the snow, right?
I would think so. There's a city
Oh,
ordinance, I
okay.
believe, that you have to make a passage on your sidewalk for pedestrians in case of snow. Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, the investigation goes on. Hopefully the police will be able to talk to the mom that's in the hospital. The good news is that the 25-year-old man did not flee the scene, and he stuck around and cooperated with police. So things move forward. So, all right. Other things going on. This is a good thing. You hear about this every once in a while, where you say, "Oh, be careful," because people are putting skimmers on on ATMs, and they put them on gas station things like that.
Okay, for
to
the
pick up
one person in the whole
you
building
have
who
no idea
doesn't
what
know
I'm
what we're
talking
talking
about.
about, what is a skimmer? How does that work?
You put a skimmer on an ATM machine, or you put it on a gas pump at a self-serve gas, and then when you use your card to pay, the skimmer picks up the card number, and then whoever put the skimmer on now has your credit card number or debit card, and then go out and buy things.
Now, this must be a piece of metal or plastic that's attached to the ATM, and it's outside the regular ATM. Wouldn't a person using the ATM see this and know that it's there?
Not necessarily the way
things have gotten so better.
So better.
Things have gotten
so
right.
better.
I was just going to
I
say so
know,
better.
terrible English. Sorry about that. Things have gotten.
This is the
things
guy
have,
whose dad wouldn't let him stay at the baseball game.
No, he would let me stay. No, things have gotten. I just gotta stop saying gotten. Things. The bad guys, their skimming devices look so real and professional. It will look to you like it's supposed to be there.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
People get fooled. So the good news is, U.S. Attorney Zachary Kuna in Rhode Island says a Romanian man has pleaded guilty to installing card skimmers on ATMs in 6 states.
Wow.
Mario DeMarco and an accomplice placed the skimming devices on bank machines Rhode Island, Mass, Connecticut, New York, and New Jersey, and Pennsylvania.
Okay.
It's a business, basically, and created fake bank cards with the stolen information. That's what they do.
All right.
But he pled guilty to this, so they're scheduled to be sentenced in May. And so so when you pay for gas, Bob, you use cash?
Yes.
Wow, he uses cash.
I go to gas stations. I pay in greenbacks. Yes,
Wow.
cash. I very seldom use a credit card.
Do you always?
I also only have one credit card with me.
Wow, you're the man.
I'm living right there in 1955, man. Yeah.
So
I still use $2 bills if I can find them.
wow. See, I use an app on the phone.
Oh, my
That
goodness.
way I don't have... It's real Jetsons stuff. I've actually had to tell people, excuse me, I got to end the phone conversation because I need my phone to go pump gas.
Right?
Things you wouldn't have said in 1970.
Things went to said, 3 years ago.
Right. I need my phone because I got to go pump gas. I probably could keep them on speakerphone and still do it.
I bet you could.
Yeah. But yeah, you go to the app on the phone, you punch it in, and you punch in your little code, and it tells the gas pump, okay, pump gas into this car. I mean, you still got to physically pick up the hose and put it in your car. But you hit go. You hit go? What do you hit? Well, you just stop pumping gas. And then, the price rings up. And when you're done, you stop. And then I get a little message in my app. You just spent $35 on gasoline. And we're going to take that money out of your checking account.
Sue, the next time the Call Times has a Valley Talk on the front page, well, they helped me out a lot on who's going to be in the Super Bowl. Maybe they can ask questions about how to help me out with modern stuff like apps and television.
How to use a credit card?
Well, yeah, you don't have those charge plates anymore from
Right.
that you used to run through the machines.
Do you have a smartphone, Bob?
I think I do.
I think I do. Does it look like this? Does it look like Sue's?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
then you do. Then okay.
Okay.
Then it can be done.
But I also remember when dial phones came into Woonsocket.
Pretty exciting stuff, huh?
Pretty exciting. Okay, my sideline story. The first day that dial phones were available, after having the usual number, please, the phone lines were so jammed you couldn't get a dial tone. Everybody in town was trying them.
it out. Okay. All right, we're going to take a break here on the Coffee Ant program, and more's coming your way. Please stick around. Right now, this portion of Coffee Ant has been sponsored by the Blackstone Valley Call and Times.
You've heard it before. The world is getting smaller. Places you had to travel to years ago now seem right next door. It's no surprise, then, that all the communities of the Blackstone Valley have so much in common these days that we share common interests. Keeping up with this trend, the Blackstone Valley's two daily newspapers, The Call and The Times, have joined forces to cover the entire valley in one convenient newspaper. The Blackstone Valley's Call and Times, a paper for the entire valley. At your local store, honor box, or home delivery, 767-8522. Sunny and breezy today with a high near 28 degrees and west winds up to 30 miles per hour. Tonight, increasingly cloudy, overnight low of 20 degrees, a breeze from the south. Friday's weather, rainy, 100% chance of rain all day, high near 40. We do believe it'll stay rain all day long, and there'll be a breeze out of the southwest. New precipitation amounts, a quarter to a half an inch of rain is possible. Friday night, 100% chance of rain before 3 a.m. and then ending as snow overnight Friday night. A calm wind and little or no snow accumulation is expected. Saturday, mostly sunny with a high of 34. Sunday, mostly cloudy, high near 35, calm wind. Sunday night, a 60% chance of snow likely before 1 a.m., then rain is likely, possibly mixed with snow between 1 a.m. and 4 a.m., and then rain likely after 4 a.m., cloudy skies and 26 degrees Sunday night. Monday, 40% chance of leftover rain, mostly cloudy all day, high of 49. Tuesday, mostly sunny and 37, and on Wednesday, a 30% chance of some snow, otherwise partly sunny skies with a high of 36.
Outside the Navigate... No, it's my secret. Outside the Navigate Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Ave and Kennedy Street, sunny skies and 21 degrees. The Crohn's and Colitis Foundation has been at the forefront of inflammatory bowel disease research and care for over 50 years. Learn more about research, education, and support at Crohn'sColitisFoundation.org.
Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse offers authentic homemade Polish food to make your next meal special. Try our many varieties of hot and fresh pierogies with onions and what they call dirty sour cream. Or pick up golubki, kielbasa, babkas, or some fresh rye bread. We also offer a large selection of specialty and imported foods. Open Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays, 9 in the morning till 6 p.m., Wednesdays, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m., Saturdays from 8 to 5 p.m. It's Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse. Follow us on Facebook and learn about our weekly specials. Located at 855 Social Street, Woonsocket, Krakow Deli Bakery Smokehouse has all the authentic Polish foods you love.
Hi, I'm Greg Bell, the host of When Radio Was.
Why, Mortimer. Bill. Is that you under that blindfold? Bill, with this thing on, I can't see who I am. No, I imagine not. Can't you see anything at all under that blindfold? On a clear day, I can see the blindfold. You can? Yeah.
When Radio Was, shows from the past for today's imaginations.
When Radio Was airs Monday through Friday, right here on ON 1240 Radio at 11 a.m. and 11 p.m.
I just realized that the people listening may have heard me say, no, that's my secret, kind of thing.
And we're not going to divulge what it is.
And what we're talking about is I know where to park for free in Providence if I'm going to an event at the Amica Mutual Pavilion.
No, wait a minute, Sue.
So-
That wasn't what he was saying was his secret. It was something else. It was something more personal.
Yeah, I think it
this
was.
is just a
my
cover-up.
secret was I know where to park for free.
Yeah, well, that's the cover-up you're
Oh, well,
telling
let's
the
make it
public.
interesting, Joe. Come on.
No,
on,
no.
We're
yeah.
already bored enough with the freaking way you watch the sports, the way you watch your Super Bowl. You know,
Well,
let's
Bob
give,
brought it up.
Yeah, let's
and
have
my-
something
my-
interesting.
My dull snacks. Anyway,
I think the secret, yeah.
Right.
We're going to ask people to call in and give us an idea as to what the secret,
the
might
secret
be.
might be.
You know, like those Mad Libs, they make a statement out
that's
of
right.
these words. Fill in the blank.
Yes.
Let's do a fill in the blank.
Anyway, Bob, it's time for first message from your law office, please.
Thank you. These are no secrets. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. In the past, you've heard me frequently discuss the benefits of estate planning. That is, for providing the appropriate distribution of your assets following your death. This morning, I'd like to talk to you about plans for administering your assets as well as planning for your care during your lifetime. The uncertainty of life does not grant to all of us the assurance that we will each be able to confront medical issues and make decisions arising from those issues on our own. There may be a time in our lives when, due to mental or physical incapacities, we're not able to respond to healthcare crises in our lives. In anticipation of such an event, it's prudent for each of us to consider and most likely to execute a durable power of attorney for health care purposes. This is a document wherein each of us can nominate another individual to have the authority to discuss our mental and physical disabilities with our physicians, to receive advice from the physicians, and make decisions concerning our continued health care, including whether or not to continue extraordinary care or to make care to be restricted to comfort measures only. A durable power of attorney can also specify the type of care we desire to receive. Now, a durable power of attorney is not a living will. A living will merely specifies the type of care we desire to receive, but does not extend any power to any other person to make the necessary decisions. A durable power of attorney incorporates the restrictions set forth in a living will, but expands the authority to another individual. While I'd like to encourage you to discuss this matter with an attorney, because in that discussion you may delve into further estate planning. However, in the absence of such consultation, you can secure copies of these forms from the Rhode Island Department of Health. In any event, the signature on the forms should be either notarized or witnessed by two individuals who are not related to you, not inheriting from you, and not employed in healthcare the industry. In the event you believe my office may be of assistance to you in legal matters, please contact me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder. My telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
All right, there. Okay, there, Bob. Thank you very much. All right. Other things going on in the news. I've been, excuse me, looking forward to this coming up, and now I got to wait another couple of months. The story's been going around for a couple of years now, up in Boston, and finally, 28 men accused of visiting high-end brothels in Cambridge, Massachusetts, and Watertown, Massachusetts, will now have all been ordered. All 28 have been ordered to appear in court in March. Their names have never been released,
Right.
so it's all speculation on who they are. The order from Cambridge District Court means the identities of the men accused of patronizing prostitutes will likely be revealed during the 3 days of hearings.
Okay.
Well, from what we hear, it's supposed to be your top people. It's names that you're going to recognize.
Okay.
I'm just waiting for this information to come out. 'Cause I'm just naturally curious. I know.
Well-
I know what you're thinking, Bob. I'm not one of the 28. I know
Well,
I was going to go that direction.
No, man, I wasn't going to insult you that way.
Sorry, Joe, but eating pretzels and peanuts during the Super Bowl doesn't qualify you as being the elite.
Wow.
Good. I'm so glad Sue is here. Brings some level reality to this show.
Well, what really doesn't apply is the men are accused of paying up to $600 an hour for the prostitutes. If I'm buying peanuts and pretzels, I'm not paying $600 an hour here.
You're not paying $6. You kidding me?
So, all right.
Okay.
So keep an eye on that. Sometime in March, we'll finally find out who's been accused of going to these brothels in Cambridge and in Watertown, and possibly down in Virginia too. They were running one down there as well. So,
Now, what part of Virginia?
I'm not sure.
Rats. I went to school in Virginia.
I know. I don't know. It's a decent sized state, so I'm not sure which.
It's not
which
anywhere
size.
close to where I went to school.
How do you know that?
Lexington is out in the Shenandoah Valley.
Oh, is it?
Nobody's going to travel that far.
All right. We had a roof collapse on a church in the city in Providence. There was a fire.
Oh, okay. I saw the pictures of the fire.
Yeah, the roof and the steeple at a Providence church partially collapsed on Wednesday. The Impact Center Providence Church on Elmwood Avenue had the steeple collapse. Crews worked for hours to put out the fire. One person was reportedly helped out of the church, and neighboring buildings were evacuated just for safety reasons. Lead pastor K. Percy Bala says the fire started while a construction worker was working on the roof. Cause of the fire, though, remains under investigation.
Construction worker on the roof is the same thing that caused the fire at Notre Dame in Paris.
Was it a welding thing or just a?
I think it was welding in the
torch of some sort. Wow. Yeah. All right. So that's what happened. Excuse me. Oh, stupid coughs. Driving me crazy. We've got. Oh, thanks, Dave. I got
Good to have somebody looking out for you,
I've got
man.
the sugar one in my mouth already.
Oh, okay.
But see, the sugarless goes right along with your, taste for pizzazz. Joe's taste for pizzazz.
Wow, I am getting a bad reputation.
You're just, yeah.
They're all over me, Dave.
Yes.
I've got boring snacks for my Super Bowl get-together.
And Dave just contributed to it.
You present yourself as a willing target, Joe.
But it was when he said he had that secret that we're trying to find out.
Right.
The secret is I know where to park in Providence for free.
We know that's not going to be the real answer, but
That's the real answer. I drink
Sue
Coke
said it
Zero,
wasn't the
too.
real
Is that dull enough for you?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
My goodness, man.
No one should drink a Coca-Cola with the same number as their IQ, Joe.
There you go.
Oh.
Joe, you are just
not good today.
No.
Jeez.
I think you should give it all up and go home.
I guess so.
Hey, it can be just you and I.
Right?
Oh, that'll be fun, right? Hey, the town of Johnston, they're moving forward. They're going to take land on George Washington Road by eminent domain.
Okay.
You know all about that?
I don't know what they're taking, but eminent domain is
land. Yeah.
The city still has to pay for it. They have to pay a fair market value for the land.
Okay.
But they would either get it voluntarily from the owner when they've given the notice of eminent domain, or they go to court and fight over who gets how much they have to pay for it.
All right. The plan in Johnston, they want to build a new police station, fire station, and town hall, all in one building, big, like a public safety complex. Kind of thing. And the Johnston Town Council unanimously approved the action last night after hearing the current buildings are outdated and unsafe. Housing advocates who support building 250 affordable housing units on the property protested outside the council meeting.
Of course they do.
So there's always someone that doesn't like the idea.
Wait a minute. They said they're taking eminent. What are they taking for eminent domain?
It just
Not
says-
the land they already have the buildings on. That doesn't make sense. They already own that.
No. The police station now is unsafe.
Right.
We want to build something new.
Correct.
We want to build it on this land that's on George Waterman Road.
Empty lot. We'll
Yeah,
say.
empty lot. They want to take that by eminent domain.
Okay.
But there's these other people that said, no, we want 250 affordable housing units built on that piece of land.
Well, the issue is really going to be the owner of the land and whether or not they want to sell it voluntarily or whether or not the city is going to have to go to court and exercise the right of eminent domain.
Sounds like that's what they want to do.
Okay.
Now, it could be a woman. If the person that owns the land wants to sell it to whoever's going to build 250 housing units, can can the town still take the land and block that sale?
Yes.
Why?
Because
Or how?
municipalities have the right to claim eminent domain, which says, because we're a municipality, we want to acquire this particular parcel of land. If the landowner is saying, I'm not going to sell it to you, then we can go to court and have a court say, okay, the landowner has to sell it to the city for the fair market value.
So let's say the fair market value is $1 million.
Right.
But he could sell it to this developer to build 250 affordable housing units for $3 million.
Okay.
Now he's out $2 million.
Well, maybe the $3 million is the fair market value of it.
No, I just said $1 million is the fair market value.
Fair market value, then the city's going to end up being able to pay for the fair market value for it.
But he could sell it to this developer who's willing to pay $3 million for it.
I would think that the city's going to still be able to acquire it for the fair market value, not necessarily the exaggerated value that some developer wants to pay for it. Because the reason is, suppose the developer and the landowner were in collusion, and the landowner said, the city, it's a fair market value, but the city wants it, but you put on record, you want to buy it for $3 million. You don't really have the $3 million behind it, and you're not really intending to do it, but we're going to sign this purchase and sale agreement between the two of us, which
so
we've both agreed is not going to ever be enforced, that says it's worth $3 million, and therefore try and get the city to pay more. Is that fair to the city? No.
Well, no, if that's what's going on, but you don't know. Maybe it's all on the up and up,
Yeah.
All right. Although I agree with you, Bob. I mean, the town of Johnston's probably going to win, and that's where the new police station and fire station is going to go.
The last eminent domain case I ever recall being involved in it was because the guy that I shared offices with at the time was Bill Savastano, involved a nursery farm that was down on Route 146 when they were putting in the 295 connectors. And they had a large area of land that they were using as a nursery farm down there that has now been taken for the connector area. It was down beyond where the Dunkin' Donuts is, south of Dunkin' Donuts. And that involved litigation over how it was going to be acquired by the state.
Who won?
Well, the state eventually took it as eminent domain.
They did.
But Bill was able to get a fair market value for it, which wasn't what the state had first offered on the land.
Was he happy?
This is so. I would imagine the clients were pleased. Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to take a break here in the Coffee and program, and it's time for a second message from Mr. Bob Lauder from your law office, please, Bob.
Thank you. Good morning. This is Attorney Bob Lauder. A few minutes ago, I discussed with you the concept of a durable power of attorney for health care purposes. I'd like to talk with you now about a durable power of attorney for financial purposes. This is a document which, when signed and properly notarized, grants to another individual or entity the authority and power to control your financial assets. It can be limited, such as a power to sell certain real estate to a specific individual or entity for a price established in a document, or it can be unlimited in nature and grant to the nominee the right to administer, sell, convey, and distribute all of your assets without any control retained by you. There are times when a limited power of attorney may be prudent. For example, if you've entered into a written agreement to sell a parcel of land, but need someone other than yourself to attend the closing and to sign the documents, which frequently arise at the closing and were not signed in advance. A general power of attorney is far more powerful, and it may be useful in those instances where you become disabled, are not able to administer or manage your assets, and in the absence of a living trust, the assets titled to you alone require some form of administration. An illustration of this might be, you've titled all of your real estate and your personal assets to a living trust, and you've named yourself as trustee of the assets. And you know that in the event that you're not able to serve as trustee, you've named an alternate individual or entity to administer the assets in the trust. But you're injured in a car accident, you're incompetent, and require some individual to negotiate with the insurance company of the errant driver to settle your claim. In the absence of a durable power of attorney, it will be necessary to secure the appointment of a guardian to make those decisions. However, a general durable power of attorney should not be prepared in a vacuum. There are circumstances where, although it is drafted and properly executed, it should be withheld from the nominee, awaiting the time of need. In the event you believe my office may have assistance you in legal matters, please contact me for an appointment. My name is Bob Lauder, and my telephone number is 762-4550. And the disclaimer: the Supreme Court of Rhode Island licenses all attorneys in the general practice of law. The court does not license or certify any attorney as an expert or specialist in any field of practice. Thank you.
Very good, Bob. And more of the Coffee and program will continue here on ON Radio.
Hey, got another email from John Chan at Chan's Fine Oriental Dining with the amazing Oriental cuisine, Mai Tai and Scorpion Bowls, and exciting entertainment to ring in the new Year of the Snake, beginning yesterday on the 29th for 15 days of celebration at Chan's. You can call 765-1900 for takeout, delivery, and reservation. Kung Hei Fat Choi. Happy Chinese New Year. Wishing you a prosperous New Year from all of us at the House of Chan.
Northern Rhode Island Council of the Arts is celebrating 30 years of Mardi Gras. The coronation of the Queen is February 23rd and includes an Italian buffet. Tickets $20. The Mardi Gras Ball is March 1st, includes a Creole Cajun buffet, and will feature the Squeeze Box Stompers. Tickets $35. Tickets can be purchased from any Queen contestant or at Missy's Family Restaurant, Cello's, Timeless Antiques, Pine Swamp Place, Belo's Flowers, The Honey Shop, Creative Impressions, Vos True Value Hardware, or call 401-486-9380 or 401-257-5797.
ON Radio.
ON Radio, DollarSaver.com.
Dollar Saver Guy with this week's Dollar Saver Half Price Deal of the Week. From Executive Auto Wash in Woonsocket, we've got 3 Platinum Car Washes. 3 Platinum Car Washes would cost you $72. We get you all 3 half price, $36. They go on sale this Friday morning, 10 a.m. online at onradiodollarsaver.com. That's the letters O-N, radio, dollar, saver.com.
ON Radio.
ON Radio, DollarSaver.com.
It is Coffee and here on ON Radio. Thanks for joining us. This is Joe Callahan here with Bob Lauder and Sue Tessier-McKenzie from the Blackstone Valley Call and Times. Okay, now speaking of the Super Bowl.
Yes.
Bob, you mentioned that your daughter only watches it because of the Super Bowl halftime show.
Mm-hmm.
Does she also watch it for the commercials?
I sometimes see the commercials because you're always looking for the favorite ones, like the Budweiser commercial. What
Okay.
are they going to do this year?
Well, there's a new one that's coming. I want you to be on the lookout for this one. Billy Crystal and Meg Ryan are reuniting for a Super Bowl commercial. They have teamed up with Hellman's Mayonnaise for an ad that will recreate their famous restaurant scene from the movie When Harry Met Sally. Now,
Hold on.
Did you see the movie?
Do you
When
know
Harry?
what that is?
Did you see the movie?
I know
When
what a
Harry...
restaurant
No,
is.
no, no.
Do you know
Did
what the
movie When
scene
Harry Met
is?
Sally?
No.
Do you know what it is, Sue?
Of course I do.
Okay, I do too.
Okay, what is it?
Well, we can't tell you.
It's
Another
yeah.
secret.
I can tell you. I can tell you off the air.
It's kind of difficult to explain properly on
Okay.
the radio.
All right.
But what's funny about it is that the end of that scene is Rob Reiner's mother
Yeah.
with her incredibly famous line of "I'll have
what she's having." Yep.
All right. AFI, the American Film Institute,
Yep.
they like to make lists, and of all the lists of iconic, favorite comedy movies, favorite movies of all time, but they've listed the best lines from movies, and so Rob Reiner has always said this is so funny. So right up there with who's the guy in Gone with the Wind?
Red, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his real
Clark
name?
Gable.
Clark Gable. Frankly, my dear, I don't give a damn. And then there's Casablanca with Humphrey Bogart. This looks like the start of a beautiful friendship. And then there's, I think her name is Irene Reiner with I'll have what she's having.
That's funny.
It just doesn't have this. It's right up there. It's most famous
Right.
lines ever made in the movie. So we'll tell you later about it, Bob. Okay.
I don't know. I think Dave Balfour and I should have been together on the, talking about stuff that no longer exists.
There you go. All right. So if you're going to babysit, you really got to pay attention. That's why you're the babysitter.
Okay.
All right.
This is leading to something.
Battle Creek, Michigan.
All right.
A man who was babysitting a child has been charged with child abuse after the 5-year-old who he was caring for opened the door because there was a police cadet there that was there to serve a subpoena. So they knock on the door. The 5-year-old opens the door, but in the hand of the 5-year-old is a loaded handgun.
Oh, my goodness. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. And imagine there's a police cadet that sees this. So, Blake Yorks was arraigned on the charges. Police searched the home and found an infant covered in rashes and rushed that child to the hospital. The other 2 children were taken by Child Protective Services, and Yorks admitted the gun was his. Doesn't say how this child got the gun. It doesn't say if these 2 kids are his kids, or was he just babysitting somebody else's. I don't know, but wow.
I would think that
Not good.
anybody who had possession of those kind of firearms should have a gun safe where they can put them in and make sure that it's protected and not accessible to anybody other than the individual who has the combination to the safe.
And shouldn't the ammunition not be in the gun, even if the gun is in the gun safe?
That I don't know, but I would think under normal circumstances you wouldn't have a loaded gun in the safe anyway.
Okay. But now the question comes down to, okay, you got your gun, you got your ammunition, I've got a gun safe.
Right.
You still got to remember to close the door and lock it.
Well, yeah.
I know, but some people, well, yeah, it's a gun safe. Yeah, the gun safe is wide open, though.
Okay.
I'm not saying that's what happened here. I don't know what happened here, how this 5-year-old got this loaded gun. But he hears a knock at the door, and, someone's at the door. I guess Blake is asleep. I don't know where he is. Or, well, I'm closer to the door. I'll get it. And he walks over. He's got the gun in his hand.
Jeez.
Wow. No one was hurt.
They're just lucky the child didn't hurt anybody with that. Yeah.
Hurt himself or somebody else.
Right.
Yeah. Wow. In case you're heading over to Paris anytime soon, the Mona Lisa is getting a room of her own. Apparently, they're doing renovations at the Louvre.
Okay.
All right. And it affects her. Leonardo da Vinci's painting will get its own special exhibition space as part of the renovations at the museum in Paris. French President Emmanuel Macron announced the renovation project on Tuesday and said the museum will be redesigned, restored, and expanded. It comes after the famous art museum said its buildings were starting to deteriorate and overcrowding was starting to have a negative impact.
They are very crowded over there now. Yeah.
Paris in general, or
well, no.
This
if you go into the Louvre Museum, it's very crowded.
Have you been there?
Yes, and the Mona Lisa wasn't the only art object. There was other paintings close to it on the wall.
Oh, okay.
But then again, for those of us who were way back in time, 1964, they sent over the Mona Lisa for a display at the World's Fair in New York.
The original?
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could go and see it there as well.
All right. Have you been over there, Sue? No, neither have I. But what I've always heard is if you're going to go to the Louvre and you're going to see the Mona Lisa, you're going to be surprised because it's actually much smaller than you think it is.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah.
You've heard that too?
I have.
It's not the size that you'd expect.
You think it's this monster painting, but is it what by? Is it? I mean, it's going to be bigger than an 8.5 by 11,
All
right?
It's I wouldn't say how large it is, but in gestures, it's not that. It's not as large as you expect. No.
Okay. So there's that, and also keep it here in the United States. If you go visit Mount Rushmore, have you been to Mount Rushmore?
Oh, I was 10 years old then. Yeah.
All right, that's also a lot smaller than you think it is.
Right, because the way they make it look.
Oh, you think it's this monstrous carving of mountains, and it's really rather tiny.
Well, kind of like the old man in the mountain. Of course, part of his face fell off, but
the whole thing.
It
fell
really
off.
wasn't big.
Yeah.
So if you have actual faces, kind of like this, the binoculars, Let's see, whose face is that?
But I think if you want to get some clarity on how large it is, you watch the Alfred Hitchcock movie North by Northwest.
Yes.
And one of the final scenes of that
is on Mount Rushmore.
It's on Mount Rushmore, and you have the size of the people as opposed to the size of the carving. Yeah.
I think it's why people think it's so huge. So, but anyway, so getting back to my Super Bowl peanuts and pretzels.
Yes.
Yes.
Lay's potato chips has had a recall. A recall is getting upgraded to the highest risk level. The Food and Drug Administration bumped the recall of certain bags of Lay's potato chips in Oregon and Washington up to Class I status. Or is that or L or 1? That's not a 1.
What is the alleged defect with the potato chips?
The update means the agency found that exposure to the product could cause serious adverse health consequences or death.
What?
From potato chips. Frito-Lay recalled a limited number of 13-ounce Lay's classic potato chips in December due to undeclared milk in the process of making the potato chips.
Undeclared?
Yeah.
So does that mean somebody that's allergic to dairy
can't
have...
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
So it could be the same thing with these. If you happen to be in Oregon or
Right.
Washington, be on the lookout for the laser chip recall. I don't normally go for potato chips, Sue. It's way too spicy.
Good
I'm kidding.
Lord.
Must
I
be a
used to
load
like-
of fun at these Super Bowl games.
I'm telling you, and you know what? As I'm sitting here, I'm envisioning one of those like 7-layer dip things with the
I wouldn't even touch it.
what do you call them? The like Dorito type.
Doritos, yeah.
Yeah.
But not Doritos, not flavored. You want the plain ones because you want the flavor
Like
from
Tostitos.
Tostita. Yeah, that
Yeah.
kind of stuff. That's what I could go for. I'm kind of hungry right now, but
You notice he didn't invite us over to his house either for the Super Bowl.
I'm thinking, you know what? I'm
just
good.
waiting on
I'm
that
good.
invite.
You know why?
Yeah, you don't want to have
I
just
have more
explain what
exciting
they're
breakfast
Exactly. Bob hit it right in the head.
because he doesn't want people
Yep.
talking. He wants to watch the game.
I don't want, because Bob, you're going to sit there with me, and I'm going to be watching the game, and next thing you know, you're going to start asking questions.
doing. Yeah.
And the worst
Bob
thing I
will
hate,
100%
the
ask
worst thing I hate
questions.
to do, especially during the Super Bowl, is try to explain the game while it's going on.
Yeah, no, that's not good. My favorite was when the Patriots won the Super Bowl, but they were down. And everybody was like, between leaving the game, leaving the parties. My daughter and her husband left our house. Not that it was a big party, but we did have better than peanuts and pretzels. And they left. They headed home. And then all
they
of a
miss
sudden,
it?
they missed.
Oh,
They missed
God.
what happened. And I was so thrilled that I was able to see that comeback because it was
All right.
just amazing.
Nothing,
And I got to witness it.
Bob, nothing bothers people that understand the game more than trying to explain it to someone that doesn't know about it during the championship game.
Yep.
It's just, and so in fact, my brother, who have you met, my younger brother,
Yeah.
he has a Super Bowl party at his house. But his house.
Joe's not invited.
I actually have him. But he's got a room over his garage.
Yeah.
And then he's got his living room. And you have to decide which one you're going to. Well, he actually tells you. The room over the garage is for people who know what they're talking about.
Okay.
The room downstairs is for people that don't know what the game is about. You sit there and
They
ask
just want to have fun.
and they want to eat fun and eat the dip and like that. Upstairs, because no one's going to answer your question. Or they're going to
Okay.
tell you to get out.
Okay.
Because they're there constant watching the game. So there you go. That's how much he has to separate people. And usually the people downstairs are usually the small kids.
It's also separated by
Usually it's
food.
the women.
The food.
The
The
food.
bet- well,
Food is better
The better
down-
food is downstairs.
downstairs.
Okay,
Yeah.
that I can see.
All right, we got to run. We've run out of time. Thank you very much for
wow.
listening. And always appreciated. Bob Lauder, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for inviting me. Hope to be with you next week.
All right. And Sue Tester McKenzie, thanks for coming in as well.
Thank you. Have a good rest of the week.
All right. This is Joe Callahan. Enjoy your day. Stay tuned for Gary Smith and the crew. Do you remember at 9:30 here on ON Radio.
Broadcasting live and local daily from the Navigant Credit Union broadcast studio at the corner of Park Avenue and Kennedy Street. This is WOON Woonsocket Radio. And now, the news. The roof and the steeple of a Providence church partially collapsed after a fire yesterday. Firefighters responded to the Impact Center Providence Church on Elmwood Avenue in the capital city just before 11 a.m., and crews worked for hours to put the fire out. One person was reportedly helped out of the church, and neighboring buildings were evacuated for safety. Lead pastor K. Percy Bala told NBC 10 TV News that the fire started while a construction worker was working on the roof. The cause of the fire remains under investigation. Masks are now required